Yo, what is up YouTube? Lee the Captain here with another YouTube video on nothing other than Engine. And in today's YouTube video, I am talking about how much Engine do you need to have invested right now in order to become a Engine millionaire. So let's jump straight into the video. We look at it right here, how much to become a Engine millionaire. And as I mentioned in my previous Crash per Millionaire video, you guys can actually check this out and get these calculations from a website called thecoinperspective.com. So for example, you can say your favorite altcoins, you can say what price would it be if it reached this market cap, this supply, what have you, right? In this case, I am doing it on Engine. So when we look at Engine right now, current price of Engine at the time of this recording is 52 cents. However, the price has pumped up a little bit since I started this calculation. So I'm going to get into that later. Right now it's above 54, 55 cents if I'm not mistaken. However, as of this recording, 52 cents. So current market cap, 486 million about, right? If we think about it right now, if Engine were to go back to its all-time high, it'd be $4.6. It differs from, different exchanges, different websites, right? However, I'm just going with coin market cap. So you would need to have invested right now $127,000, and it would be around a 7.85x. You would have $1 million. Just think about it. If you invested $127,000 right now and Engine were to go back to its all-time high, you would become a millionaire. That's insane, right? And quickly, before I go any further, I'm going to explain how this chart works, right? So the green is just the price of Engine, right, at that said market cap. The red is what you need to have invested at the time of this recording, which is 52 cents. And for example, right here, right, this 7.85 is the X, right, the times it would have, right, 127,000 times 7.85, $1 million. So I feel like the next milestone we have to look at is $10 billion market cap. Engine would be $10.7. You need invested right now $50,000, which would generate a 20X and would give you $1 million. Now, when I think about just, Engine and what it's going forward, I am so bullish on the future of Engine. They have so much going on, and personally for me, I think the future is going to be related to the Metaverse and just gaming in general when it comes to cryptos. And when we think about it right here, we think about Engine at 20 billion. If Engine was at 20 billion. And before I actually continue any further, you guys can actually just pause it, right? You guys can pause the calculations on your screen and see for yourself how much you would need invested. I could go through just all this, however, it'd just be super boring, right? However, as you can see right here, just long story short, basically, the more you have invested, the less, high Engine would have to go, right? And the less you would have invested right now, the higher Engine would have to go. So Engine at 20 billion market cap, as I mentioned before, one Engine would be $21.41. You would need $25,000, and that'd be a 40x. And personally, how high do I think Engine can go? Right, not financial advice. I personally think that Engine could go to $50 billion market cap quite easily. I mean, if you just think about, crypto adoption, institutional adoption, what's going on with the crypto space in general. I know the market is not doing good right now, but even in spite of that, people are still in the game of crypto. People are still investing in cryptocurrencies, and they still believe in its long-term future. And most importantly, projects like Engine, they're still building, developing, even during these rough economic times. They don't care. They're focused on the future, and they're focused on the long term, which I am as well. And before I actually, talk more about, where Engine's going forward and whatnot, I think, these price fluctuations right now, as you're seeing, right, despite bad economic times, Bitcoin's above 21K right now, right? Why is that? Can't predict the market. So what do? I always dollar cost average. And when you talk about this chart right here, I don't just go all in. And for example, let's say I think, right, Engine can go to $50 billion. I'm not just gonna jump just $8,000 straight in, right? Or for example, I want it to go back to its all-time high, for example. I'm not just going to put $127,000 straight in. What I'm doing is I'm just going to work towards that goal on a set schedule. So some people get paid per month. If I'm running my own business, let's say I get paid, every month or every 3 months, 6 months, depending on your business, right? Depending on the nature of it. You would actually just work towards that goal and just invest on a set schedule until you reach the amount you desire. Because the thing is, day trading, right, technical analysis, whatnot. Personally, I don't do that because it's really hard to time the market and quite impossible in my opinion. No one has a crystal ball, despite what the charts say, in my opinion. And when you think about it, when it just shows right now, right, the price is pumping, and we couldn't have predicted it. Who predicted it, right? People are predicting right now Bitcoin 10, 12K. Now it's above 21K. We don't know the future. And think about it right here, $30 billion market cap. You would need, $16,000 invested in Engine right now. That'd be a 61x. That's still a lot of money to, a lot of people. However, what other investment could generate $16,000 to, $1 million, right? At a $50 billion market cap, which psychologically is just a big goal in my opinion. You would need an investor right now $8,400, which would be over 100x, right? That would give you $1 million, and that basically is what it is, right? It just shows how Engine has such huge growth, and such huge room for its growth, and just such huge potential overall. And I just included this for fun, right? If Engine hit Dogecoin's all-time high market cap of 88 billion, you need to invest $5,555 at this current exact moment at Engine at 52 cents. Why is that? Why do I put this, right? I always put this on all my videos. Why? Because I just feel like it's so comical, right? Seeing something like a meme coin, seeing something that has no utility, especially last year, right? Just go all the way to the moon, right? Go to Mars, right? It's just insane seeing that. And it shows the power of cryptocurrencies and how early we are. Just think about it. Once we are in a utility-driven market, once there's large institutional adoptions, these type of runs, I think when Dogecoin just goes all the way up, I think it's kind of a thing of the past. However, just in spite of the fact that Dogecoin and SHIB is still the top, one of the major cryptos right now, just shows how early we are, and shows that retail FOMO, right? People just buying things for fun can actually pump things up really, really high, which is just absolutely insane in my opinion, and shows how early we are in the world of cryptocurrencies. So when I actually just deviate from this chart, so again, guys, I'm just going to say that if you actually want to see this, I'm just going to scroll up real quick so you guys can pause and see how much you would need, right? Right here and right here. So after you guys have paused that, just make sure you've seen it, right? Okay, so I'm gonna actually go more into Engine right now. So as I mentioned before, Engine right now is a little bit up, right? Made the chart 52 cents, now it's at 55 cents. I mean, that's just crazy, right? It shows, we can't really, time the market. Yeah, it's still a far cry from its all-time high. However, this is just shows that we're still early, right? And shows that even if it were just to return to its all-time high, we would still be really in the green, in my opinion. And when we think about it right here, cryptos are just up right now, right? Bitcoin back above 22,000. Holy smokes. ETH, 1,474. It was like below $1,000, right? That's insane. Just shows how volatile the market is, and shows again, right, how dollar cost averaging is king at the end of the day. This ETH example shows that really you can't time when it's top, when it's bottom, because you try to time bottom, you try to time top, most of the times you get wrecked, right? People want to say, hey, let's wait for ETH to go to $500, whatever. They miss their chance to turn $1,000 to almost 1,400 at this moment. And it shows that these short-term traders, they're just focused on trying to time the market, what have you. However, if we understand the long-term vision, we don't really care what the price is. We just dollar cost average. And what I mean by that is, for example, I used that paying example before. So for example, you get paid, you pay your bills, you pay whatever have you, right? All the stuff you want to do basically, right? Rent, fuel, gas, whatever. Just think about it. Whatever you have left, if you're just going to spend it on something that you don't need, for example, something like Gucci's or some Louis Vuittons, whatever people buy, right, with their extra income, what you do is you just, instead of doing that, not financial advice, by the way, however, what I would do, right, is just, instead of doing that, what I would do is I would just invest it, and just invest what you can afford to lose, essentially. And because if you think about it, if you're going to buy Gucci's, Louis Vuittons, that's basically a loss in my opinion. Yeah, you can impress, your friends. You can impress, for the guys out there, you can impress chicks, right? Or if you want to impress anyone, just you like, basically, right? Doesn't matter. But in my opinion, what does that really do? It doesn't really do anything other than just give you mental satisfaction. And if people would just want to be with you just because you have Gucci's and stuff, they're probably not going to be there for the long term anyway. So you don't have to be worried about that when it comes to your friends or people you like, people you have a crush on. Really doesn't matter and not important in my opinion. Now, don't get sucked into the peer pressure of your friends asking you to buy these type of the drip, right? The drip, right? I remember when I was in college, I was working with this guy. He had the dreadlocks, everything. He probably thought he was Bob Marley. I remember him going to work and he was like, yeah, you gotta buy this drip if you want chicks, you feel? Homeboy, right? Spending all his earnings on drip, Off-Whites, Gucci's, Yeezys, partying, clubbing every week. I was like, yo, you are such a clown. I can't believe what you're doing right here. Why don't you just invest it? He was like, nah, man, what do you know about that? Just all that, right? Till this day, that guy is still partying, having fun, chasing chicks, going around, going to happy hour, spending all his cash on that. This guy is just an absolute toolbox. Now, again, this is not some behavior I recommend, but however, it's just a personal story for me and for anyone who's getting peer pressure to buy all that stuff right now. It's not financial advice at the end of the day, but what I would do is I would rather just invest it. You don't need that, right? And this guy right here, right? All he would do is just brag how he spent, all this money on his drinks, on drip, right? Dude, guy's an absolute clown. Until this day, he's still doing that, by the way. Guy's just an absolute toolbox, in my opinion. Not much IQ or EQ, I would say, personally, honestly speaking, because he's a very irresponsible guy. Now, I'm not digging him for it. However, it's his life, it's his choice. He's entitled to his own, thoughts, whatever he wants to do with his life. However, that's just a cautionary tale, personally for me, from my personal experience. That guy is still living like he's a frat boy, right? Still living like he's on Miami in summer break, right? Going to Cancun. The guy's just an absolute tool. So that's just something I always think of every time I have an urge, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I also have an urge sometimes, right, to buy that stuff, but I will train myself because I've seen that in real life. I've seen what it can do to that guy, right? Guy was having to borrow his rent money because he was spending so much on partying, drip, whatever, right? Just shows that he is an absolute clown. We don't want to be like that, right? That's just personally for me. And again, not financial advice, but it's just a personal story from my life. And I'm seeing it on YouTube. So when we talk about it right here, what do I think about the future potential growth of Engine? It is so bright. They're focused on creating NFTs for the gaming industry, which is just amazing NFT platform. I just think the gaming industry in the future is just going to be something that is just going to be the driving force behind cryptocurrencies. And when you think about it right here, they are also focused on the Metaverse. They built Efinity on Polkadot, and this is just so amazing because it shows their focus. If we think about it, right, Facebook, such a large company, just like that tip of the spear tech company, switching its whole agenda and renaming themselves to Meta. That's just crazy because when you think about it, when have we seen this before, right? They're just like they're just trying to be the first mover. They're trying to get the first mover advantage. But just think about it. What happens if Google gets in the metaverse, right? What happens if they create their own metaverse? What happens if big companies like Apple, like Samsung, right? They just get in the metaverse. Just think about it. The world of the metaverse, there's the crypto space, just blockchain technology as a whole is just going to be absolutely insane, and shows that there's such huge potential because as of right now, all these cryptos, right? They have a lot of use cases. That is true, but a lot of these large institutions, they're not really adopting it full time yet, which is why we see just retail traders, right? Just kind of manipulating the market. These whales, they could just do it. However, in the future, if you just think about it, Bitcoin is just a store of value. So it's kind of just like digital gold, right? When you just think about it as a whole, why is that affecting other cryptos that actually have a real use case? Because it shows that we're still very, very early, and shows that these retail investors, they're just worried about price. They're not really thinking about the use case long term. However, someone like me, I believe in its long term, and I am just investing in my favorite projects, which Engine is one of them. And when we think about it right here, look at this article right here. People will spend more physical conscious time in the metaverse than the real world, And the financial value of the metaverse will start to challenge the financial value of physical world assets by 2030. That's insane. That's less than 10 years from now. Just think about it. And it just shows how bright the future is when it comes to the metaverse, and it shows how smart and forward-thinking Engine is for joining before, we have all this hype and everyone just trying to join the metaverse. They are in it for the long term. Now, when I think about this right here, this is just crazy, right? Metaverse may be worth $13 trillion according to Citi, right? Just imagine if Engine was just to own, let's say just 10% of that. That's just $1.3 trillion. That's crazy. Now, do I think Engine can go that high? I have no idea, but I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, right? We have to think about it. We have to think about the future potential and just how far and how early we are. And personally for me, I think the all-time high of Engine was nowhere near its true potential. And I think Engine can go even way, way higher, because I think last year it was just kind of a snip. We had just a little bit of a taste of what, cryptos can actually do. In my opinion, we've just reached the beginning. In my opinion, we're just at the tip of the iceberg, right? We haven't seen the below part. Have you seen that photo where it's like the iceberg and it's all big inside? But yeah, whatever. You get what I mean, right? However, think about this right here. Gaming is the tipping point for mass adoption. I agree, because everyone plays video games. Everyone that I know has at least played video games at one point, right? Just think about it. It's just amazing how people are so linked to video games and how they treat it as sort of, just kind of like a stress reliever, right? It just becomes part of them, especially when you're in school, you're a kid, right? You just play a lot of video games. Now, imagine cryptocurrencies, they're allowing these people a chance to actually earn money and when playing video games, play to earn games, for example. I talk about Gala games a lot. I love Gala games. We talk about Axie providing 70% of the players in the Philippines, shout out to the Philippines, salamat, a chance to, quit their jobs and actually earn way more money, or equal to or even greater than what their original job was doing. That's just crazy. And the crazy thing is, a game like Axie, is nowhere near the true full potential of crypto gaming. And it shows what it could do already, which is just crazy, right? Imagine once people start playing video games, more and more playing crypto video games, right? More and more video games adopting blockchain technology and play to earn mechanics. We're just going to see just the crypto space just blossom. It's just going to be insane. And we don't want to miss the ride, right? That's why we dollar cost average, not financial advice. Now, when we think about it right here, again, right? The crypto space right now, despite the bad economic times, inflation above 9%, uncertainty in Europe, the geopolitical factors, Ukraine, Russia war, just crazy economic times, right? The euro losing its value to the US dollar, which hasn't been seen in, if I'm not mistaken, 20 years. Crazy, just crazy, right? But why are people still buying crypto, right? Why is Bitcoin now above 22,000? Now, could this be a fake pump? Could be, but honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. I'm still dollar cost averaging in all my favorite cryptocurrencies. And what I do personally is I just sprout my buys. I don't go all in. For example, as I mentioned in that, in that Engine chart right there, what I do is I just sprout my buys. And what I do is I actually just, I just work towards a goal, right? When we take a look at this chart again right here, we look at these possible scenarios. In my opinion, I used to be somebody, right, who would just go all in, especially last year. I would just go all in. However, it kind of worked out great in a sense because, it was kind of the right timing where the market just was, just going parabolic. However, what I realized after, the price went down and stuff like that, I realized the best strategy to do is just dollar cost average, because when Bitcoin was around 30K, I had a lot of my friends who were doing technical analysis, whatnot. They were saying, hey, it's going to go to 70K at least, 100K by the end of, 2021, what have you, right? Saying, hey, by mid 2022, it's going to be above 100,000 or at least 60K. It all didn't come true, right? Because think about it. We're in July right now, and the prices, it's just hovering above 20K. So that is why I personally don't believe in technical analysis predicting the price, because as I've mentioned always, you can't predict the future, which is why I just try to work towards a common, goal. For example, trying to get 50K, right, 80K, 100K when it comes to, what I believe can create life-changing wealth, because I'm in crypto to create life-changing wealth, right? And I believe in it long term. So what the basic gist of it is just dollar cost average and work towards a common goal, because we don't know if it's a fake pump, we don't know if it's going to go even higher, and we don't want to miss the ride to Mars, right? We want to be there when the rocket ship is there. You want to be ready in the rocket station when the rocket's about to take off. You want to be there, right? And again, I will reiterate, right? Yes, it could go down. However, do we really know? We don't know. So we have to be prepared at all times. So yeah, and again, I'm just, and for those of you wondering why I didn't put the odd numbers, right? Not really the odd numbers, but like the 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion, because the chart would just be absolutely crazy. So, and again, right? I'll link you guys to that website in the description below. So you can just put ENJ and see what hypothetically it would be at this price, or you guys can actually just pause the video and actually look at it. So I just put it in 2 intervals, so 16, 18, 20 billion, just to make it a little bit easier. The gray is more of these larger goals, and the ones that aren't gray are the more, I would say, shorter term goals, I would say. And yeah, that's been it for me in today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'm out. Peace. Bye.